Hello class, I'd like to welcome you to Musology 101. I am Professor T, and today we will be discussing the physiological effects, treatments, and techniques for the prevention of stage fright. Please ready your notebooks and pencils, and let us proceed with the lesson. Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel where we discuss all things music. My name is Tiffany, and today our topic is stage fright. Whether you're a musician, a magician, a politician, or anything in between, you're probably familiar with that feeling. You get on stage and you lock eyes with the crowd. Your palms get sweaty, your knees are weak, and your arms are heavy. Mom spaghetti. Well, in this video, I'm going to be giving you tips on how to understand and overcome your stage fright. Although stage fright isn't technically considered a full-blown phobia, many people do suffer from glossophobia, which is a fear of social situations where one is being watched or judged by others. You may start to feel anxiety in the days, weeks, or even months leading up to your performance. Before you take the stage, you may start to feel tense, fidgety, or lightheaded. Your voice and your hands may start to shake, while your heartbeat races and you're drenched in sweat. Not to mention the fact that your stomach is doing cartwheels. Well, for what it's worth, I'm here to tell you that you're not alone in those feelings. In fact, you're in pretty good company, because even the greats like Adele, Ozzy Osbourne, and Rihanna have admitted to struggling with stage fright. Ozzy was quoted saying, "To say that I suffer from pre-show nerves is like saying that when you get hit by an atom bomb, it hurts a bit." So, now that you know you're not alone, I'm sure your next question is, well, what the f do I do about it? And that's where I come in. Hi! With 5 of my favorite tips that I actually use to overcome stage fright. Plus, if you stick around to the end, I'll give you a bonus tip, free of charge. So, let's jump right into it and get those shaky knees under control. My first tip is one that should be implemented long before you ever even hit the stage, and that is to practice and prepare. Obviously, before you perform or give a speech, you want to know what you're doing. Give yourself adequate time to practice and rehearse before the big day. Go over your performance with a fine-tooth comb and get the motions, the notes, or the words ingrained into your muscle memory so that they feel second nature. Being prepared builds confidence and will ease your nerves about potentially flubbing it on stage. And be sure to practice in front of as many people as you can, whenever you can. Although it may feel uncomfortable at first, it will help you to become more comfortable in front of an audience later. Tip number 2 is to pregame. No, not like that. Do something to relax yourself before you take the stage. Meditate, dance, draw, sit in a quiet room listening to your favorite artists. Whatever calms your erratic thoughts and energizes your creative side. Here, try this breathing technique to slow your rapid heartbeat. Close your mouth and slowly inhale through your nose for a count of 4. Hold that breath and count to 7. Exhale slowly through your mouth as you count to 8. Repeat the cycle 3 more times to feel more tranquil and improve your blood circulation. Conversely, if the slow breathing exercises just aren't doing it for you and are only serving to stress you out more, go the other way with it. Hype yourself up. Get excited. Think about how badass you are and how great of a show you're about to put on. Let that energetic mindset fuel your confidence. My third tip is to fake it till you make it. Admittedly, this one is a little tricky. What I mean by fake it till you make it is to don the persona of a more confident, almost cockier you. Full disclosure, I am a bundle of nerves before every single performance. No matter the size of the crowd or the amount of times I've performed at the venue, I'm always worried that I'm going to choke, literally and metaphorically. But you would never know it just by looking at me, because the thing that works best for me is to just smother it or turn it off. I know that sounds obnoxious and overly simplistic, but what I'm actually doing isn't so much overcoming my fear as much as it is pretending that it never existed in the first place. Almost like I'm playing the part of a brave and swaggering character. Think about how Beyoncé says that right before she takes the stage, she becomes her alter ego, Sasha Fierce. It's almost like she's a totally different person who's more confident, glamorous, and fearless than she is off stage. Now, I'm not telling you to throw on some stiletto heels and a blonde wig, but I will say that this is a trick that, after a lot of practice in karaoke bars, really does work for me. And it's actually kind of fun to role play as that brave person, leave it all on stage, and then marvel at what they've accomplished when it's time to slip back into yourself. Did that sound dirty? On to tip number 4. You are what you eat. You should try to avoid things like coffee, heavily caffeinated drinks, and alcohol right before a performance. I know that it's tempting to take a couple shots to calm the nerves, or have a cup of coffee to relax your mind. But drinks like the aforementioned actually serve to make you more jittery and anxious. The caffeine is a stimulant that speeds up your central nervous system and can trigger your fight or flight response, while the alcohol can affect the overall quality of your performance in general. Not to mention that those drinks can cause dehydration and clog your throat. But I'll go more into that in another video. You should also avoid eating a big meal right before you take the stage, or not eating enough before a performance. Okay, I know that that sounds like a lot of don'ts, but I'm gonna give you some do's now. Do drink plenty of water throughout the day of your show. Do indulge in some decaffeinated tea to relax your mind and the muscles in your throat. And do have a light and balanced meal about 2 hours before your show. You'll be energized, hydrated, and your body will be at peak performance. Last but not least, my final tip is to get some rest. You've done the work, you've practiced your heart out, and you've made a game plan for the big day. Now, chill. None of these tips are going to matter if you're too tired, exhausted, and over-practiced to put them into place. All the prep in the world won't help you if you've already run yourself ragged. Give yourself a day of relaxation before the big event and trust that all of the practice and preparation from tip number 1 will serve you well. Get a good night's sleep to avoid fatigue, stress, poor circulation, and anxiety. At the end of the day, you've put in countless hours of hard work to perfect your craft. So now it's time to relax and get ready to enjoy yourself while you share that part of yourself with your audience. Just remember that if you're sticking to it, there will always be more performances, and each one is a learning experience and a chance to grow. And even if something does go wrong, it's okay. To this day, I sometimes still get the dreaded shaky bow when I'm playing. Or periodically forget a lyric or two when I'm singing. But I promise you that your audience understands how difficult it is to put yourself out there like that. And as long as you seem like you're enjoying yourself and having fun, they will too. Don't think I forgot. As promised, I have one final bonus tip for you, which was gifted to me by the concertmaster of my orchestra before a solo that I was playing later that evening. Remember when I suggested practicing in front of your friends and family as often as possible? Well, assuming that you have any say-so, try positioning your support team or practice partner near the front of the audience where you can see them, draw on them for comfort and familiarity, or to be able to reset yourself if you start to feel like you're spiraling out of control or losing control of your nerves. Having that familiar home base within your eye line will help you to feel more comfortable and at ease, because you've already been practicing with them up until this point. So it should feel more natural. If you feel the nerves creeping up, find your lighthouse and draw on them for comfort. Granted, you shouldn't perform solely to them, but allow them to be your parachute if you need it. Thank you so much for checking out my video. And if you found any of these tips to be useful, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos. Also, if you have any tips of your own for beating stage fright, be sure to drop them down in the comments. I know there was a bit of a hiatus just as we were starting to get going. And let me know if you guys want a video about that, because that whole story is insane. But we should be back on track for weekly releases. And feel free to let me know if there are any topics in particular that you would like to see me cover. The goal is to help feed some of you starving artists. So I want to hear about any questions that I may be able to help with. All right, I'll see you guys next week. But until then, go out there and make some beautiful noise.